liked it because the picture, like the words don't even like matter to me. Like the words are
Yeah,
fine.
the words are
It's
great.
the Tom Berry with his little knife because Tom Berries are amazing.
Yeah,
But it's like the guns don't kill people. People do.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's the same
but
thing with knives and Tonberry.
good old Tom Berries.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for this morning?
Yeah, I
this is so
suppose.
this is so shitty. We have to redo these. Uh,
I don't even know what we're gonna say again because it's like
we're just gonna redo the video word for word. All right, ready? You
I
remember
don't.
everything you said, right? Let's do it. Well, hello, and welcome back to the Irresponsible Comic Book Podcast. My name is Evan. I'm the producer here at the show. This very professional show where we never make any technological mistakes. And this right here is our resident expert, Dylan. Today we're talking about Iron Man 2. This feels
Again.
like we've done this. Sorry. Just for reference, since we're gonna make jokes about it the whole way through, I'm sure we already recorded this video and our Thor How Bad Was It review for both of these 2 days ago, and then I went to go upload them yesterday, and the files were corrupted. So here we are again. So these will probably be a bit quicker than the rest of the series because we've already said everything we needed to say about this, and we've already given it the ratings. We just don't. Yeah. So that's the situation we're in. But hopefully you guys enjoy the video regardless. So let's jump into it. Let's do a brief review since the last time we kind of went in depth about the plot of each of these movies. A quick review of Iron Man 2. Do you want to do it or do you want me to? Because I feel like I always go off the rails with these.
I guess I feel it.
Okay.
So we start the movie with Tony in his bungalow, right? And he's working, and Pepper comes in, and she's like, Tony, blah 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 blah, being Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony's like, I don't care. You just become president.
Yeah, you become the CEO of Stark Industries. Just
That might be a little too early. I think we get a little bit of Monaco racetrack scene before that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Regardless, Tony's being reckless. He's giving stuff
Tony,
up, doing crazy things.
He's being reckless. We get introduced to Justin Hammer, and him trying to be Tony Stark essentially.
Yeah.
And oh no, we enter the first scene was I just remembered it was the scene where he has to get summons essentially to
court.
To court, there was the scene preceding that, and then he gets served paper by the really attractive lady that Tony was trying to hit on, and he's like, "Oh, well, shit."
Yep. Yep. He has the fly-in scene at the opening where he lands at the expo, and then he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy!" And then he walks outside with Happy, and this lady is standing in front of his car. Yeah, she's some court martial or something like that. She serves him papers. Then he goes to court. He gets told that he tells everybody that he's the only person who's made the technology with the arc reactor as far as advanced as he has anywhere in the world.
Unsuccessful cases like Justin Hammer, breaking the spine of it.
Yeah, his machine just whips 180 and snaps somebody's whole body.
The way he lived.
By the way, he's still alive right now. For the record, it's come on, man, that just looks bad. But then, we see him being reckless, giving up doing the Monaco race.
That was the introduction of Vanko too, because he started working on his own arc reactor.
Yeah, we see him after the court case. Vanko gets a little cut version of it where he's seeing it on TV. You see pieces of him saying certain things, and being cocky, and he's like, oh, fuck this guy. And you also see his dad die, right? Yeah, his dad's dying at the same time.
Yeah, and his bird.
In his bird in the warehouse.
That wasn't my bird.
Yes. And so then we get the Monaco fight scene in the street, and then he gets locked up. Tony interrogates him a bit, finds out about a little bit about him. Then he gets sent off to prison. His story kind of gets sidelined for a while we learn more about Tony's palladium problem in his chest, and how he has no real way of solving it. It just keeps getting worse and worse. And then there's even a bit of a little jump down the road because it was like 6%, 7%, or like 6, somewhere in there in the tens, and then it jumps to like 20, and then like the next time you see it is like 60, and then the last time is like 98%. And so he's like on the verge of death down the road. And then that's jumping a bit far, but
he's got to find a new element.
Yeah, he has to. His goal is to find a new element that can power the reactor, and Nick Fury weirdly knows how that works. I think this is one of the things we talked about last time when we talked about this. That this was like the weirdest, biggest plot hole that they were just like, here's a fix for. So
yeah, that's the biggest like kind of issue with the movie is that it's just like, here's a fix.
Yeah.
Like, go with it. Like,
yeah, it just doesn't.
I know they were trying to
realistic.
say that his dad was still better than Tony at that point.
Yeah.
Like, and that's kind of what they were trying to say, that like his dad was just too smart for his time.
Yep.
And just didn't have the technology to do everything that he needed to do, and like even like what he says in the thing is like, Tony, you're my legacy.
Yeah.
Like, which is still kind of a little weird. Like if you think about it, like,
yeah,
child should not be your legacy.
Yeah, like your child's 8 at that point. I mean, I guess at that point, at the age, like,
well,
7
you
or
can
8.
tell that he's going to be a really smart guy.
Yeah, at that age, you can tell a kid's going to be a genius or not. But yeah, so yeah, that was kind of the weirdest thing for me, and I think we said that last time, where it just like was like too easy of a fix, and his dad just like bailed him out, and not that, I mean, he still had to do all the hard work and labor to create the element, and he set his workshop on fire, but
well, even that was a little weird because, like, if you think about it, like, he's supposed to be like under house arrest, right?
Yeah.
And it just so happens that he's got literally everything he needs in his house.
True. Well, I don't know. He could get it shipped in.
No, like, it literally happened in the matter of like 16 hours.
Yeah. It did.
Like, he rips up his floors, takes stuff out of his floors, like, builds this big circle in his garage and like surrounding space. I don't know how he like even like.
Hey, he's a genius. I don't know.
Well, like,
yeah.
They show his garage and workshop. It's like one joint unit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there's this big tube structure that goes around.
Yeah.
And he clearly has to go underground.
Yep.
Like, but they don't even like touch that because why would they?
No.
But like, he's got this big tube structure. Oh, which brings us into the Captain America teaser.
Yeah, the little circle.
And he's like, that I need that.
He's like that. And he's like, you know what this is?
Captain America shield.
Yeah.
But like,
Coulson's just like, you know what this is?
Yeah.
I just love that they put Coulson on guard duty too, which is just funny.
Like, right under here, like, dude. Like, it sucks that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't canon.
Yeah, I know.
Like, just rewatching these, like, makes me go, man, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was so good. Like,
Coulson's
Agent
great.
Coulson was literally the best.
This is a complete sidetrack from the show, but from the movie. But the Powerpuff Girls show that has been scheduled for a while, and for reshoots. Chloe Bennett, who plays Quake, just opted out of the show because she has other film, obligations right now. What
Ooh,
a weird time when they're doing all the reshoots for Spider-Man No Way Home, and they're filming Secret Invasion right now.
interesting.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, who knows? Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up. But yeah, that show's so good. Agents of Shields is just great.
Maybe
Maybe we
it's
do.
not necessarily
Yeah,
not canon.
I really hope
It's
so.
it's half canon right now.
Half canon. Yeah, they tie in pieces and they teased it all over in WandaVision, and then they kind of just left it there.
Well, it's also weird because, like, I guess it could just really be an alternate reality where
Mm-hmm.
the only alternate reality portion really is that Coulson got brought back to life through Tahiti.
Yep.
We can talk more about that when
That
we
could
get to
be
Avengers.
that could be Fury. That could be so. Yeah, we could talk about that a bit with What If later on too. Cause
What if in Avengers? But
yeah,
like, I don't know. Coulson's just a really good character
Yeah, he is.
in general.
Yeah.
Um,
Clark Gregg is great. Great Clark.
I don't know. So we get the big fight scene. Rhodey's there. He can't control the suit because Vanko is controlling it for him
Controlling him until they
because
shut him down.
the U.S. government was like, "Hey, Justin Hammer, you seem like just the right guy to take this
Take
Tony
this.
Stark tech and
Make
put
it
all these
better.
things inside of it and make it better."
Upgrade.
Sure, Justin Hammer's that guy. Like,
Mm-hmm. No, he's not.
but
He's funny.
I guess it's just because he had the military contract at the time because
Yep.
they had to give it to somebody.
Yep. They did.
And
He was their only real big weapons guy. He gives this probably extravagant speech to win like, oh, I can do all these cool things for you for the government now that Tony Stark's gone. And then they're like, okay, well, we need somebody, and he's the best candidate they have, but he just is not qualified.
well, I mean, it's not that he's not qualified. It's just,
He's not on Tony's level.
yeah.
Not even close. So
And I think that's what they were trying to get at. Like, he was just incompetent compared to Tony.
yeah,
Like,
he's like just light years behind.
yeah. And I guess it's kind of like part of the portion of the movie where it's like a lot of people are just totally behind Tony Stark, but Tony Stark's dad is totally ahead of Tony Stark.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
I don't know. So like we get the big fight scene with Vanko and
In the bowl.
the bowl,
The
like
dome.
the dome.
Hmm.
Um,
That's a really good
and
scene.
Vanko is like, I have the last laugh, and he starts destroying all of the
Self-destruct.
suits.
Yep.
And then so Tony has to like run off and save everyone. So he saves Pepper, and he saves Peter Parker, and all sorts of
Yeah, Peter
these
Parker's before
people.
that, but yeah. But he goes to save Pepper. He saves Peter Parker earlier, the little kid who goes.
Just a little before.
Yeah.
And then they like wind up on top of a roof and start making out essentially, and then Rhodey's
just
like sitting there like,
staring
"Hey,
at him.
get your own room. Like I've been here the whole time.
Get
You
your
guys
own
showed
room.
up,"
I was here first.
which was a pretty funny scene.
It's very funny.
Overall, the movie had a lot of good scenes.
Oh yeah, it does.
Especially like the Scarlett Johansson scenes, they were pretty good.
The fight
Like
scenes and
as an introduction to Scarlett Johansson in the MCU, the Black Widow, like she did really good.
yeah, the one in Hammer Tech is really great where she just kicks everyone's ass while Happy's just chilling there and he's like, I got one, I beat him. And the whole hallway's just lined with bodies that are knocked out and he's like, what the fuck?
We talked about this the last time we recorded it, but
Yeah.
like the best characters beyond Tony Stark
Yeah.
were Scarlett Johansson, the Black Widow, and Justin Hammer.
Yep.
And then
100%.
everybody else was just kind of like meh.
Yeah, Rhodey
Like-
was decent. I like.
Rhodey did a good job, but like we already had a Rhodey,
Yeah.
so like
We already had a good Rhodey from the first Iron Man.
yeah, I mean he's
Even though
not
it's a different character.
like this Rhodey is a
Different
different
actor.
Rhodey, but he's a better Rhodey, I guess technically. But out of like the characters that we had outside of Tony Stark, Like those were the best
Oh, the
two.
two
Rhodey's probably
editions.
like three, and
Yep.
then like Pepper is probably four. Like Vonko is unfortunately low down the
Oh,
list because they just
last.
didn't do it right. Like we said in the last one, they probably had a lot of scenes that made you feel better
Yeah,
and
and they were
like
cut.
sympathized him more.
Yeah,
They probably were cut.
yeah. I think that's the
Um,
one thing that I don't know if I said this in the Iron Man episode that we did initially, or if I said this last time when we recorded, that I feel like the first phase of Marvel just didn't have. I probably didn't say this last time, but the first phase of Marvel didn't do a great job with its villains, really.
yeah,
Aside
you
from like,
can't necessarily say it.
except for like Loki, I think that was like the
Loki was probably the best villain. Still
yeah,
is one of the best villains in the MCU.
yeah,
But now he's a hero.
yeah.
But
But like in terms of like making you understand their situation or getting emotionally connected to them in any way, they don't do that in Iron Man. They
I think
do
just
it.
overall the writing was just a little bit
Yeah,
like
they're still
on the
figuring
thick
out the
side, I
writing.
guess.
Yeah,
Like, and
because
that kind of is what I said last time that we recorded is that like the first phase and some even phase two, they were just going for like sure hits.
yep, they were
Like
playing it safe.
they were playing it safe. I use the analogy, like the baseball analogy, that they were going for doubles instead of home runs.
Yeah, I really
Where
like that.
eventually they start going for home runs because they don't have to play it safe anymore.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I we'll get into it. But I think their first home run was Avengers.
Yep.
So
Yep, I agree. I agree.
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we get the whole big climax of the film after the bull scene, the dome fight scene, um, and you know, after that, there's not very much that goes on. I don't think.
No, not really. It was more like a just kind of clean up kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I can't remember. But after that, like we get our post credit scene.
Yep.
Um, which was the Thor's hammer.
Yep. It was where Coulson went after he left Tony. So Coulson went to go to New Mexico to investigate some sort of
The dropping of a satellite.
anomaly. Yeah, that's what they call it. But it's a mythical hammer, and it's a direct reference to Thor. Like you in the other post credit scenes that we've seen, we saw in Iron Man 1, we saw Nick Fury come in to talk to Tony Stark about a team. In Hulk, we see Tony Stark approaching Ross about using Banner as part of that team. And then this is the one where we like get like a direct reference to another character, which is we rated it pretty high. I think we gave it an A or a B. A
Overall, both.
A minus,
Overall, it was a B plus.
Yeah, A minus B plus somewhere there. I think you gave it an A and I gave it a B. But that's like the first time we get a direct reference to another character through, or like a direct tease to another character, and they did it really well. Even though his movie, and it also came out, I think I said this last time, it came out a whole year before Thor came out. So it was like they had the scene and location picked out and they had it filmed, like ready to go for the movie Iron Man, like so far in advance that I just thought it was very impressive for the early days of the MCU where they didn't have this grand plan. Like they probably, I don't even know if I'm sure they had Avengers planned.
I think they had a planned up to Avengers.
But then they didn't know what else they could do afterwards.
Yeah, like they were originally just like, well, we're gonna do like 6 movies, see how it works.
Yeah.
Like
probably all they had really in mind. And then as they saw how popular Avengers went, they went, okay, we can plan more. I'm sure they probably planned trilogies for.
Oh, they had a few other movies planned because they knew like I think up to like Thor, they had Avengers planned, and then after Thor and how popular it was, like first go,
Yeah.
they were like, okay, So we can do like more Iron Man. Like we can do all of these again.
Yeah,
Like let's get a whole nother set of
contracts.
uh,
Because that's when they
second, third
started.
movies out of these
Yeah,
guys.
because they had.
Then they threw in like Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
Yeah, they had these huge contracts being tossed out to. Well, I'm even thinking now that I think about it. When they
I think
approached
Tony Stark originally had a 6-movie contract,
Yeah.
or Robert Downey Jr.
when they approached Evans, he was hesitant because he didn't want to sign on for something that potentially big and life changing. So
Well,
they did.
also with Evans, he got burned with the Human Torch because he had a 3-movie contract to play the Human Torch.
Yep.
And that just didn't work.
No.
We know because they only did
They
two
only
of
did
them.
Exactly. So yeah, he was hesitant to. So they had to have had at least some sort of plan through, Captain America 1. If it was like a 6-movie deal, Captain America 1, 2, and then ultimately Civil War, Avengers, Age of Ultron. Like that's 5 of the 6. He's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So and like people were. I remember I think people making like these things that were like saying before. I think they timed it really well because Infinity War was the 6th movie for Evans, and for somebody else, I think it was for Evans and for Hemsworth, where that was their 6th movie, and so like people thought that both Chris's were gonna die off, like that they were gonna kill Thor and Captain America in Infinity War, because they never signed new deals and they left it open to speculation based on because like the events of Infinity War were like not clear what was going to happen, what they were going to ultimately do with Thanos, who they would choose to kill off, and so that people thought that they were going to actually die in that movie because they won't be in the second part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, you're right. It was Infinity War was the 6th for both of them.
Yep.
I just went like recounting, and I was like, no, like because
it was.
I ended up putting Hemsworth in Civil War at first, and I was like, no, he was never
there. He was in Doctor Strange. He was in the cameo for Doctor Strange. So that was his 5th. Was Doctor Strange, that like little brief scene where he gets his thing filled up because Loki's there. It's like the post-credit scene. It's the post-credit scene.
Oh, it was post-credit, yeah.
Yeah. So
that doesn't count, though.
It did. It actually did. He got paid a lot for that.
Well, yeah, he got paid a lot of money for that, but it doesn't count with, like, it being his 6th movie.
Oh, no. It was his 5th, because he had Thor 1, 2, 3...
Thor, and then Avengers,
Age of Ultron.
Dark World. Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok, and then Infinity War would have been his 6th. If you count Doctor Strange, that would have made it 7.
Wait, hold on. Say it again. So Thor 1.
So Thor 1, Avengers, Thor: The Dark World, Age of Ultron.
Yep.
Ragnarok.
Yep.
Then Infinity War.
Infinity War. Oh, you're right. Actually. Interesting. You're right. I guess maybe I was wrong, but either way, his contract. It was either Evans and Hemsworth or Evans and somebody else that were like.
I think the reason why they paid him so much money is because it wasn't technically in his contract to do it.
Yeah,
he didn't have to say yes.
It was like
here's a lot of money for you to just show up for 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was like also a big incentive to be like, hey, this will help your movie make more money too. So, because with the change in direction from Thor 2 to Thor 3 and how Taika Waititi kind of resurrected the movies.
I think he was also a little hesitant because Thor: The Dark World was so bad, and then Age of Ultron, he didn't have a huge role in it.
No, he was a sideline character for most of it, doing his little Infinity War exploration or Infinity Stone. But yeah, so let's go into rating the movie real quick. So we last time when we recorded this both said high two.
We both said a 2,
Yeah.
and then we were thinking about like where it lined up in like a set of 2s.
Yeah.
So we put it as like a high 2.
Yeah.
Um, Still a 2, which is a watchable for our rating system.
Mm-hmm.
And then our post-credit scene, which we kind of went over, which was the Mjolnir in the pit
Mm-hmm.
in New Mexico.
Yep.
I think I originally put it as an A,
Yep.
and then you put it as like a B minus or a B.
I put it as a B.
So then we got an overall score of a B plus.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Then our Stanley cameo,
We gave it an S.
we gave it an S. We almost were even thinking about adding a whole nother section
tier.
And being like a double S.
Yes.
Because it was just that good of a cameo, because he looked that much like Larry King that like there's a chance that you just completely missed that it was actually Stan Lee instead of Larry King.
Mm-hmm. Which makes it that good. It just the whole demeanor and costume for Stan Lee was done perfectly to look like Larry King, and so we just had to give it that S, and we may have to move it into a double S down the road. So
yeah, I mean, thinking about it off the top of my head, there's only a few other cameos that I would even put really that high.
Yeah.
Like the one for Captain Marvel, I would put pretty high, but that's also because I'm just a really big fan of like the Kevin Smith movies.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then he's like on the bus, like reading the Mallrats, the script, and he's like, "Trust me, true believer," and that's like his big sign, or like his big line in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, anyways,
yeah.
So we did our rating.
Yep.
Kind of went over that. Any other things you want to say about the movie?
No, not really. I think we said it all in this, or at least in the last attempt. So, if there's anything we missed, that was
tell us what your favorite parts of the movie were, and if our rating is wrong,
or what if you thought that
defend your rating. Make us change our mind.
Yeah, just for reference, our rating scale is 1 to 5. So when we say it's a 2, it's not. Our rating scale is labeled pretty appropriately. So 1 is unwatchable. 2 is watchable, 3 is good, 4 is great, and 5 is an ultra film. Just like ultra film, get it? Okay. Anyways, so we that's our rating system. So when we say 2, it's watchable, but it's not like good.
Bad.
And by that we mean like we said this last time, this isn't something we would go back to like watch over and over. Like there's good films that you can go back and watch. Like last night I wanted to go back and watch, like was thinking about it. I'm like Donnie Darko, and that's probably like closer to a 5. But like the going back to watch Iron Man 2 isn't really a film that you look at and go, oh, that's something I want to go watch again. There's nothing that's that incredible about this movie to make it good, like an actual good movie. But it is pretty watchable, and it's a decent film. I almost kind of want to change 2 to decent, watchable / decent, because it's
that's kind of what it is.
Same thing. Yeah.
Watchable like makes it feel like you sit down and watch it once, like you know. Pretty
much watch it once or go back to watch it for how bad was it series. Yeah. So. But yeah, I think that's everything we have to say about Iron Man 2. Thank you guys for watching, listening. Don't forget to, again, leave your thoughts. Leave a like on this video for us. It really helps us. And if you haven't already, subscribe. If you want to see the rest of the How Bad Was It series, we'll be filming the Thor video right after this. And it'll actually, hopefully, come through the computer this time and not corrupt the file. And I'm saying that, and then I'm going to jinx us. And then...
third time the charm.
Yeah, and we'll have a link to the rest of the videos in this series down below if you want to watch the rest of the series. Yeah, I think that's everything we got. So thank you very much. Bye, guys.
Bye.